Hey friends, what's going on? This is Big Rob, and I just got off work about half an hour ago, and so packed everything up, had the van ready to go, and I am headed out tonight to go do some stealth camping. Now, I haven't decided exactly where I'm gonna camp tonight, but I've got a list of 10 places, 10 categories of places that I stealth camp no matter what city I'm in. And they're pretty much foolproof. I've never been run out of any of them. So I want to share with you those 10 different places. Now, no matter where I park, I always use my CUBIST system. Now, I will put a link to that up here so you can watch that video. I went into the CUBIST system in a lot more detail on a different video, but you know, it's a set of rules that I ask myself, and each of those letters stand for something. Like C is curious. Like, am I parking somewhere where people are going to be curious about what I'm doing? Because if people are curious, they're going to come see what I'm doing, or they're gonna call the police. U is, am I doing something that is unsafe? Not just for my own safety, but well-meaning people, if they see you park somewhere that's unsafe, they may approach you and they may call the police. They may do something else. So anyway, check out that video if you wanna see all 6 questions that I ask myself before I will stealth camp at a place. Anyway, let's get started. Number 1 on my list, that is going to be public parking, public street parking. Now, there are lots of public street parking spots that are free and legal, as long, you know, look for the signs, and if there's no sign that says there's no overnight parking. Now, in some cities, there may be ordinances that say you can't park, you can't stay in your car, but we are talking about stealth camping. And so stealth camping to me is you show up, you hunker down, show up late, leave early. In fact, I'm gonna do another video where I kind of get into some of the more rules that I follow when it comes to stealth camping, and also talk about some of the moral issues surrounding stealth camping, because you know, there are definitely some things to take into consideration. But that being said, if it's legal in a city and there is street parking, you're free to stay there. So again, when I stealth camp, I hunker down. I've got a blackout curtain. I pull into my spot, never leave. I never leave the vehicle. I say stealth camping is BYOB, bring your own bathroom. I don't get in and out of the van. Once I'm there, I stay there, and then I leave in the morning. The second place that I like to stealth camp at are truck stops and gas stations. Now, I've seen videos on YouTube, people say, well, I went to a gas station, they wouldn't let me stay there, or I went to a truck stop and they ran me off. You know, there are places that are along the interstate that are high traffic places, and a lot of those places don't have a lot of parking, and also people have come through and they've littered, or, you know, so they've left a bad name for people that are traveling through. I will tell you my personal experience. I have stayed at multiple gas stations on road trips mostly, but even when I'm camping around town or going to a nearby town, I've never had a problem. I've never had anybody run me off. Normally what I do is, again, try to get there late. I'll go in, buy something. I have you know, something with their brand name on the dash or something like that that shows them that I've been you know, at their place. But I don't have any problem at all. You can see the parking on this particular gas station, all these parking spots. Now this is you know, earlier in the day, this is during lunchtime. So during lunch, you know, there's a lot of people that come here, but later on, it's totally dead. And all these spots, and again, there's corporate rules like Love's, the name pops into my head. Love's may have a corporate rule that says you can stealth park or not stealth park or whatever, and that's this level, right? But really what you gotta worry about are the people that are working in Love's that night. Like, are you doing something so egregious? Are you so obvious? Are you so annoying that they feel compelled to leave the gas station and come out and tell you to go away? So if you're parked around the corner, on the side, if you're somewhere no one has noticed you, you're not bothering anybody, I think it's pretty much a safe bet that you can stealth camp there overnight. The third place that I love stealth camping in is industrial parks. You know, there's an industrial park. I mean, it's not an industrial park, but it's like an industrial area. There's always, it's not far from my house, but they're always doing construction. Now, I've never actually parked at this spot because I don't need to go 5 miles away from my house just to just go park there and sleep. But, you know, I look for places like that when I'm on the road, because if it's an industrial area, who are you bothering? You know, I look for maybe like construction type stuff. I look for vans that kind of look like work vans, or, you know, other vehicles that are around. Now, you don't, again, refer back to that CUBIST video, because you don't want to look like you're stealing something or doing something dangerous. So, you know, if that's the case, you might think about exactly where you're parking, because really just one row over or a different side of a building can make all the difference in the world. But so again, those industrial areas, you know, if you look at this one that I'm showing on the screen, I mean, nobody would ever care if you parked in this spot. So I always look for places like this. The fourth one on my list is casinos. Now, you guys know I've gone to the same casino a couple of times. I've gone to other casinos, not in the van where I have slept in my car. Casinos can be hit or miss. They can hit hard, like that guy's stereo. Yeah. Casinos may have security, they may run you off, but here's what I'm telling you: if they can't tell if you're in the van or not, they're not gonna bother you. You know, I get in the van, I put up my blackout curtains, you can't see that anyone's in the van. Why would they come around and bother you? When I park with all the other cars that are staying there overnight. They have no reason to come suspect that there's someone in the van, and I'm not doing anything that bothers anyone. So casinos, you know, they're open 24 hours. There's people coming and going all night long. That's a good spot to hit. Along those same lines are hospitals. Now, hospitals can be a gray area. One of the things that I always take into consideration when I'm stealth camping is, am I taking up a spot from someone else? So the hospital, for example, I've got this video. Let me show you this video where this hospital is not far from my house. But if you look at the parking, and I'll show you the parking on some of these other clips that I shot for B-roll, but look how many parking spots are here. Like, I'm not taking away from anyone's parking who is coming to do business at this hospital or come to visit somebody. There is more free parking than regular parking. So I have not stayed at this particular hospital before, but I have stayed at least 3 other hospitals. Never had a problem. Again, I follow those same rules. I go there when it's time to go there. I lock down, I stay in my van. In the morning, I head out. I would say it's a gray area. If you went somewhere and there was no parking available or very little parking, then I probably would pick one of these other places. But use common sense and your own moral judgment before parking at one of these places. Something that I've recently added to my list of places that I look for now are 24-hour restaurants. These could be IHOPs, Waffle Houses, any place like that that has cars coming and going. You know, I like a lot of cars. Some people, when their knee-jerk reaction, I suppose, is to go to somewhere like super private and secluded. And I mean, we're all for places where people don't have loud stereos. I think that's the same loud stereo guy. But, you know, for me, I don't mind parking where there's other cars, because where there's other cars, then you're going to be safe. You know what I mean? There's other people coming and going. So nobody's going to be messing with your vehicle. So I don't mind parking outside an IHOP or near an IHOP or somewhere like that. And again, a lot of these places have parking. One of my big things is ambiguous type of parking. So for example, in my town, the IHOP that's there is near a couple of other restaurants, and if you park right in the middle, nobody would really know what restaurant you were there visiting. So it's something that you could definitely get away with. Along those same lines, strip malls. Now, I love strip malls. Now, strip malls are kind of hit or miss. You kind of have to look at the strip mall and kind of gauge for yourself, like, if that's something that's going to work. But what I love about it is, again, that ambiguity. You can park, near one of the businesses, or maybe in between a couple of businesses, or one row away, where it looks like you could be someone that's involved in any of those businesses, and people are not going to bother you, because, you know, like, if you're at this business and you come out and there's a van there, you go, well, it might be that guy. I'm not going to call the police because that guy's working late, or it might be that guy. You know what I mean? So they're just people. If it's easier for them to ignore you, that's what they're going to do. So strip malls, a great spot. Now, it can be, I mean, if it's in an area where all the traffic leaves and you're the only car that's sitting there, you might stand out like a sore thumb, but I've never had a problem. Another thing that I do, and people don't agree with me, so this is me personally, a personal decision, but when I stealth camp, I always pull into a parking spot normally. I never back into a spot, because if you look through a parking lot and you see a bunch of cars and there's one van backed in, that's a dead giveaway. There's somebody hanging out in that van. I mean, it's just human perception. Like, you see that and that's what you think. So I don't do that. I pull in nose first, and might be slightly more inconvenient when I'm backing out later, but it looks like you're parked at a business, and so people wouldn't think. If you're backed up to a business after hours, it looks like you might be robbing it. So not a great idea. Another obvious spot, one that I think we've all used before, are hotel parking lots. Now, again, an ideal hotel situation would be one of these like conglomerate places where there's 2 or 3 hotels and they all share a parking lot, and you can just pull in the middle. Nobody's going to say anything to you. Nobody's going to bother you. Again, in certain like high traffic areas, they may have a security guard. So I will, like I have been known to park somewhere and walk up to the place and walk back out or whatever, you know, and get in the car. You know, if they see you leaving your car, going to your car or whatever, like you're not just hiding there, then, you know, just mentally they kind of check you off that you're there, not that you're, you know, not there for no good. Anyway, another good place to park is big box stores. I can get away with this a little bit easier than some people because I have a big white van, and if you have a white, or basically a white plain looking van, even if it's a high top, not a short cargo van like mine, but it'll blend right in. You'll see other vans out there. You'll also see like delivery box trucks and things like that. And, you know, those places, a lot of that, like the one here, I think closes at 9. So if you roll in at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, there's nobody there that works there. There's nobody who cares. They may have a security guard or something like that, but they're just not, you know, not going to bother you, especially if you're not bothering them. I will give one caveat here is sometimes they have goods that they're selling like on pallets that are out in the parking lot. I wouldn't park right next to that because that might look a little sus, and that might get someone's attention. So go back to those CUBIST rules. But anyway, I wouldn't necessarily do that. But on the road, I've parked at Lowe's and Home Depot and stuff like that. Never had a problem. Number 10 on my list are 24-hour stores. So, you know, there are grocery stores that are open 24 hours. There are all kinds of places like that are open 24 hours. Again, you got cars coming and going. Walmart, you kind of have to know that particular Walmart. Most of my stealth camping, I don't call and get permission. If I were going to stealth camp at a Walmart, I would pull up right to the building on the side, like where they bring the carts in. I would park right there. I would not park way out where you look like you're a guy who's staying overnight, because if that's a Walmart that doesn't allow that, then they're going to come knock on your window, see what you're doing. Or I would park somewhere near where the other cars are. But any, you know, type of 24-hour place like that are just open all the time like that, it's just not really an issue. They don't give me a hard time. Now, I know I said that I was only going to do 10, but I'm going to throw in 2 bonus ones. The first one are apartment complexes. Now, apartment complexes, you have to look around because some apartment complexes, the people who live there have a sticker or a decal or something on their vehicle. But people who live in apartment complexes have guests, and those guests do not have stickers or decals on their van. My daughter lives in an apartment. I've gone over there many times and no one asks when I'm coming or going. One of my good friends lives in an apartment. I've gone over there. I've left my car there overnight. Nobody asks when I'm coming or going. So as long as you're not parked in someone's spot, it's just not that big of a deal. Again, you got to think about it this way. What are you doing that is going to cause somebody to come knock on your window? What have you done that's going to cause somebody to call the police or call security or leave their house and come out and see what you're up to? So if you're not doing any of those things, I think generally you're probably in a pretty good spot. So apartments, things like that, those work out. Now the last one here, I will tell you that I'll be honest with you, I've never done this. Now it's in the back of my head as like an option. So what I do is on my phone, I have a list of all these categories. So this weekend I'm going up to Guthrie, which is an hour drive away, maybe not quite an hour, but I don't know where I'm going to stay. But what I have on my phone is I have all these categories. And so what I will do is I'll start running through them. I'll be like, okay, where's a hospital? Where's this? And I'll start scoping those places out and I'll find one of those spots. So the last category, and again, I haven't done this one, but it's on my list of categories, are churches. Now, I think about churches for a couple of reasons. Number one, churches get used, generally speaking, on Wednesdays and Sundays, which means 5 days a week, there's a lot of free parking available at churches. So that would be one idea, right? The other thing I would say is that I think if someone at a church came out and said, are you sleeping in your car? And you said, yeah, I don't think they would say, get off our property. I think they would say, do you need anything? You know, so I think that's the type of place that would be kind of okay with it. You know, I will give my normal caveats about stealth camping. Number one, look for signs. I will tell you that in one of the parking lots when I was driving around, had a sign that said no overnight parking. I'm not saying I wouldn't park there. I'm saying if I do, I am acknowledging the fact that I may be asked to leave. It says they may tow someone at your expense. I think they'll knock on your window first to see if anybody's in there. You'll have an opportunity to leave. If you get a ticket, that's on you because you know or knew that you're breaking the rules. But you know, it just depends on the situation. Where are you at? What town are you in? How long have you been driving? Is there anywhere else available? So that's one of the things that I always take into consideration as I look for a sign. But there's so many of these things that are just always available that it's just never been a problem with me. So I am going to randomly pick one of these 12 things, head out and go find some adventure tonight. So thanks everybody for watching the videos. Thanks for supporting. Go to my Patreon page, go to my Instagram page, go to my website, and that's all I got. Click like and subscribe and all those little fun things. Do it all right now. And on the next video, let's find out where I went, but let's go there right now. I'm going there right now. I'll see you in a couple days. Okay, all of a sudden it smells like crap right here. It's like someone just dumped sewage right into the lake. Hey GoPro, stop recording.